From darkness to light with Discover Islam.
My home is a melting pot of nationalities, culture, and language. We have lived in Taiwan, Singapore, and the Philippines. That's because my father is Taiwanese and my mother is Filipina. My mother often mentioned that her ancestors were originally from Sabah, Malaysia, but she knew nothing of the religion or culture. Although my father was a practicing Buddhist, we celebrated festivals from both Buddhism and Christianity at home. My mother insisted, however, that I attend church with her and practice Christianity. I never found the concept of God in Christianity meaningful. It was very confusing to me that God and Jesus were both divine and yet there was only one God. But I was a dutiful daughter and I attended masses and sermons. I would sit there in the church thinking that there was something missing in my life. I got a job in a beautiful resort in the Philippines, and that was where I met my husband. There was a whirlwind romance and we got married almost immediately. Since he is Bahraini, he took me back home to his family, and it was only then I realized that he was Muslim. I hadn't asked and he hadn't bothered to mention it. It wasn't any problem though, as I grew up in a multicultural home. I watched him and his family pray, fast, and give to charity with open hearts. His family was so loving and accepting. They treated me like their own daughter and never pressured me to conform to their traditions or beliefs. I thought that I had nothing to give them in return except that I learned their traditions and beliefs slowly. I asked my husband and his family a lot of questions, and they patiently answered them all. The more I learned, the more I loved it. What really attracted me was their constant thought process before doing anything. They would check if what they did contradicted Allah's commands or if it would hurt anyone. This God consciousness was something I had never seen before. I felt at peace with Islam and Muslims around me. I decided that I would become Muslim and I would do it secretly. I thought I needed to learn Arabic to become Muslim, so I approached Discover Islam, asking them if they could teach me. The staff asked me why I was so interested in learning Arabic. I told him that I was eventually going to accept Islam and I couldn't do so if didn't know the language. He smiled and told me that the vast majority of the Muslim world couldn't speak the language. He then spent hours talking to me about Islam, and by the end of it I was Muslim. This was so much relief. I had left the home to learn Arabic and returned the same day as a Muslim. I am in the basic Islam education classes and I am enjoying every minute of it. My husband, who didn't know this was going to happen, looked like the happiest man in the world when I told him I had become Muslim.
From darkness to light with Discover Islam.